Morning, everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster with Ginnypreneur, and we are on the Zoom In with Ginnypreneur series. Thank you for joining us on our interview of small business owners who are passionate about their business. Today, we're being joined by Jim Jordan, and he has a business consulting and coaching. And what we're going to get from him today is how small businesses can help to expand their business, and wants to share tips so that we can get this country back to having more small business owners. My feeling is that back in the 70s, there used to be 80% entrepreneurs. Now it's less than 50%. And the foundation of our country is on small businesses. So I'm a huge small business advocate. So welcome. Thank you, Jim, for joining us. Looking forward to your sharing tips today.
Good morning, Jenny.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
Let's dive into it. What are some of the challenges that small businesses have?
Well, if you go back to how most small business gets started, first of all, they have a passion for what they're doing,
Yes.
and ultimately, they have a skill set that people are looking for, and they get involved in a business, and they start doing everything themselves. Ultimately, what happens is that they get so involved with the day-to-day part of owning a business that they often have time, they often forget to work on their business rather than in their business.
That's so true.
And ultimately, what I think is important is putting together, because for every challenge out there, there is a solution. There's a thing. I mean, my tagline for North Associates is that I provide solutions that will drive your bottom line success. Most business owners don't really have a business plan. And a business plan is not that complicated. It could be maybe 3 to 5 goals that are measurable, that we can basically take a look at on a monthly basis and come up with some solutions, or take advantage of some of the solutions that are out there to basically make sure that you're basically making money anyway for your bottom line. I mean, ultimately, one of the challenges that I find is that many small business owners, really their entire retirement is based on the success of their business.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
And it's one of my traits, and one of my focuses is to make sure that we increase the value of your business on an ongoing basis in terms of being able to provide financial controls on the business. We hope that you're pricing for value and not necessarily just commodity pricing. That a lot of business owners that I run into, they have passion for what they're doing, but they lack some of the leadership skills that are needed in order for them to direct employees, to make sure that the customer is being served in some way. And a lot of times, from a communication standpoint, they assume that their employee team knows what they want and what the customer wants. Unfortunately, that is not the case. The other big challenge is just simply a lack of capital. As businesses become more successful, they either don't know how, or quite frankly are intimidated by dealing with banks and trying to come up with capital in a way to either expand their equipment or expand their business in some way. And unfortunately, I think that is really one of the biggest challenges, because I know from experience that 40% of small businesses are profitable.
Okay.
30% break even, which means that 30% are losing money on a constant basis.
Yeah.
The statistics from the Small Business Administration show that 50% will fail within the first year.
That I knew. Yeah.
And 95% won't make it to year 5. So ultimately,
Ouch.
if I can provide them with basically a roadmap, and again, something that is simply just some goals that we're going to measure, and take a look at basically some of the challenges from the standpoint of getting people. I mean, that's one of the things that I concentrate on is finding the right staff to help you grow your business, and that's becoming increasingly difficult
Yep.
for small business owners. I mean, with full employment right now, and a lot of people leaving the workforce, unfortunately, the lack of qualified labor is really a big challenge anyway for any small business owner out there.
I keep hearing the same thing, that's the major concern. But Jim, here's something that I want to ask you about, because with the statistics you mentioned, and the small businesses having trouble with the money side, how is it that you get them to justify that they can use your service? Because I totally understand that your service is very valuable, but when people are struggling, they're juggling, okay, do I go this route, or do I throw my trust completely in Jim to help me move on to the steps and grow the way I really want to?
Jenny, that is a great question, and I get that a lot
Yeah.
from clients that I sit down with, and I tell them, and usually I approach the whole consulting relationship like this: what does success look like in 5 years? You're going to enter into an agreement. I'm going to give you basically a proposal in writing. I'm going to essentially not have a contract with you. If you decide that I'm not worth it and I'm not basically improving your bottom line, then you should cut me off. You basically don't need my services because I can't help you. And oftentimes what I do is, as part of the initial consultation, which is totally free, I want to understand what you feel the challenges are, because most business owners have forgotten more about their business than I will ever know. So I want to understand anyway what success looks like from your perspective, and I'm willing to basically put together a written proposal with a timeline and basically investment involved. And like I say, if you feel that we're not getting anywhere, I will simply back off and ultimately allow you to basically seek another solution. I believe that through my experience, I've dealt with so many different types of businesses, and really from the ma and pa businesses to multi-million-dollar businesses out there. And I want to make sure that, again, that we stay focused on solutions. And I want to make sure that, quite frankly, that you're getting value for my time and I'm not wasting yours in any way.
That's great. One thing that I didn't realize for a long time, and our daughter worked for Deloitte and Touche. And she was in mergers and acquisitions. And I had no idea that these big companies, before they even do the merger, they look at the exit plan first. And when you're a mom and pop shop, that is the last thing on your mind. Just as you say, you're dealing with your passion. Maybe it's your hobby. And all of a sudden you see your hobby improving and starting to make you money. And just as you say, you never sat down with a major strategy on how to grow your business. You're just enjoying life.
Yes. And usually I think that my services are more valuable. If somebody, let's say, wants to sell their business, the more time that you can give me to sit down with you and to plan it out. I mean, for example, I say, if I can have 5 years So 5 years before you want to retire, if you basically engage me, we have a longer runway to be able to basically improve the value of the business.
Mhm.
And on a monthly business, on a monthly basis anyway, I'll take a look at your financials. I'll take a look at where we can basically bring some more money to the bottom line, because that's ultimately what you're selling, is that you've got a valuable business. You hopefully have built a brand. You may have used, the services of a marketing company like Daniel's company that he has, in order to build a local brand that when people think of your service or your product, ultimately you are the first choice anyway that they will go to.
Top of
And-
mind.
And yeah, and a very interesting fact anyway, this past year, and I think that this is kind of the post-COVID effect that I've seen. Small businesses did better this past December than they've done anyway in over 2 years.
Oh, really?
People have used local businesses because, one of the things that I'm constantly looking for is that if I can find a business owner that has passion, that is focused on the customer, focused on their employees, and focused on the community, I know that I'm dealing with somebody that I can not only help, but we can help them thrive anyway in terms of what they're doing. And that's what I saw this past December. I saw a lot of local businesses giving back to the community, helping out on fundraising. And, what I usually indicate is I'm not basically in doing this for Wall Street. I'm doing it for Main Street.
Love it. Oh my goodness. Jim, this is such great information for people in small business and challenges, get them thinking beyond their business. So, any last words of wisdom before we wrap this up?
Well, I think in closing, the thing that I want to basically stress for all small business owners is that there are solutions out there that ultimately can help you be more successful. And it's important for you to constantly look for those, and not just through engagement with consultants or anybody else, but keep your eyes open and keep your focus on the customer. I mean, if the customer will tell you exactly what they're thinking, and ultimately, if you can, again, focus what you do on pleasing that customer, and taking little steps anyway. I mean, for example, anyway, I got a bid from we want to remodel a bathroom anyway, an upstairs master bathroom anyway. I had a gentleman from my B&I group come to my house. He basically took measurements and did everything else. The next day, I got a thank you note from him, handwritten thank you note from him, for allowing me to come into my house and give me this bid. And
Wow.
I've known him. He was a customer of mine. And
Wow.
he said, Jim, he said, you told me 8 years ago that I should stay in touch with the customer, and that's what he does. And it's those little things. It's not huge things that have to happen, but little things that can make that customer experience that much more special, and ultimately can result anyway in your business becoming more valuable.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Keeping in touch with people. That's a great idea, Jim. I love that.
Yeah, and like I say anyway, the customer experience. There's only 4 reasons why people will buy something from you. It's either price, convenience, quality, or selection. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you and for small business owners, I always tell them it's always very difficult to kind of compete on a price level, but you can compete on a quality and a selection and a convenience level. Those are where you can make a mark, and again, help build your brand where you can become more successful.
I love all the input you've given us and your time today. So thank you so much, Jim.
Okay, you have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks. Bye.